In this video, we're going to do a recap of the NHL All-Star festivities that took place this weekend in Tampa, Florida. And that's coming up next. Hey everyone, and welcome back to another video here at Top Shelf Hockey. If you're new to the channel, thanks for stopping by. We review and discuss all 31 NHL teams, so if you're a huge hockey fan, consider subscribing and clicking the bell so you don't miss anything. So let's do a recap here of the NHL All-Star festivities that took place this weekend in Tampa, Florida. Obviously, we had the skills competition as well as the 3-on-3 tournament based on division versus division. So it certainly was a fun experience, I think, for the players. They looked like they were having fun, and it looks like the fans were able to go locally in Tampa. Certainly had a good time as well. So I want you to leave a comment down below. Did you watch any of the All-Star festivities? And if you did, what were your thoughts? If you didn't, here's a quick recap. So in the skills competition, to no surprise, Connor McDavid was once again the fastest skater. It was rumored that not too many guys wanted to go head-to-head against McDavid and challenge him to be the fastest skater. Although the second place finisher, Braden Point of Tampa, certainly gave him a good go and didn't finish far behind. I think it was only a tenth of a second or so behind McDavid. So McDavid, for the second year in a row, wins the fastest skater. Alex Ovechkin was the hardest shot champion. He was the only player in the group to crack 100 miles per hour. Certainly some other guys gave it a good go. Klingberg and Subban and Stamkos all came pretty close as well. But Ovi is the winner this year for the NHL's hardest shot. The winner for the accuracy shooting was the Canucks rookie Brock Boeser. Brock Boeser had a fantastic weekend at this event, and he certainly showcased his talents. He won this event and was also named the All-Star Game MVP. So he was having himself quite a weekend. It was a little bit of a coming out party. I think there's a lot of fans outside of Vancouver that might not have been taking notice of Boeser up until this point, but he certainly got himself recognized quite well this weekend and made himself a lot of extra dough. I believe between winning the event, being part of the winning team, and whatnot, and being named MVP, he won himself a car and over 500 grand in cash. So nice little weekend for Boeser. For somebody like him on a rookie contract, that money will certainly come in a lot handier than some of these guys making mega millions per year. For the puck control relay, that was won by Calgary Flames star Johnny Gaudreau. Marc-Andre Fleury, the Vegas Golden Knights, won the goalie longest save streak, and Alex Pietrangelo won the passing challenge. Pietrangelo actually made a comment afterwards saying that perhaps he should pass the puck more, and he's probably going to be asked to do so when he gets back to the Blues, as I'm sure his coaching staff will be watching the event. So Pietrangelo certainly had a good showing there as well. Into the 3-on-3 tournament, we had Team Atlantic defeat Team Metropolitan by a score of 7-4. They had Team Pacific defeated Team Central by a score of 5-2, and then in the final, Team Pacific won the event, defeating Team Atlantic by a score of 5-2. As I mentioned, Brock Boeser was named MVP of the All-Star Game. He certainly had a great showing, and anybody who wasn't familiar with him before certainly had a good opportunity to do so. Now, what I want to discuss with you as well is the All-Star Game format. I mean, I know over the years it seems like there's quite a mixed reaction as far as interest in this type of event. Whether or not you want to watch it, are you interested, not interested? If you were able to go to the event, would you or not? There seems to be a little bit of a disinterest out for some people, and then there's still some that do like it. Personally, in my thoughts, I think they've done a really good job of making the event a lot more competitive and more fun. Now that they've increased what the players can win at the event, it certainly makes it a lot more competitive. During the 3-on-3 tournament, we actually saw a little bit more of an effort from the defensive perspective, which we rarely see in years past at All-Star games. We saw a goal challenge, which was an offside review, which actually got overturned. So, I mean, they were actually trying hard and trying to be as competitive as possible. So I have to give them kudos for that. I think the NHL has done a better job at making this event a little bit more entertaining and more challenging for the players, which thus makes it more entertaining for the fans. So I know, personally, I think this event would be something that would be more fun to see in person and have a chance to see all those stars as opposed to watching on TV. But what I want to know from you is, what are your thoughts on the All-Star format? Do you have any interest in it? Did you watch it? What are your thoughts on the All-Star Game? My thoughts on the All-Star Game is, with the current format, it does look like it is fairly fun, but I think it would be a much, much better experience, obviously, being there in person as opposed to watching on TV. I mean, I did make an effort to watch the event so I could do this video and recap things for you here on this channel. but at the same time, there were some parts of it that weren't quite as entertaining as others. But overall, I think the NHL's done a pretty good job at improving the event over time. I mean, I remember watching the All-Star game when I was, a kid back in the 80s and 90s, and it just wasn't entertaining at all. You'd have a huge amount of goals. Nobody played defense. The goalies were hung out to dry, and it just really wasn't all that fun. I never really got into it then, and really for the most part, up until they developed the 3-on-3 tournament, I know I had lost interest for a while, and I kind of regained interest. At least it's a lot more fun to watch. One thing to keep in mind here as well is obviously they do try to make sure there's representation from each team, and now that they have the divisional format, that certainly makes it a little bit more entertaining as well. And we get to see Crosby and Ovechkin play in the same line for a while. I mean, that was certainly fun. All the Tampa guys, obviously being the hometown team, got to entertain their crowd, and they did a great job. I mean, they had many players represented, between Stamkos and Kucherov and Vasilevsky and Braden Point. So, I mean, they certainly did a really good job at hosting by the looks of it. They did announce at the event that the All-Star Game next year is going to be held in San Jose, California. Obviously, the last few years, they've had it in a warm climate, which is probably another enticing factor for the players that are going as well. During the All-Star Game festivities, there was also some Board of Governor meetings going on, and Gary Bettman did some interviews as well with the media. He certainly addressed a few situations, one being the Calgary and Ottawa situations with regards to them getting new arenas. And he also mentioned that they were certainly discussing the issues with goaltender interference. Now, obviously, it looks like as though the goalie interference, it looks like the league's standpoint and Bettman's standpoint is he feels overall the system works. But I think what they plan on addressing with the referees is to not overthink things too much. We see some of these reviews dragging on for several minutes, and it really just shouldn't take that long to kind of, you can only look at things from so many angles, and I think that the referees might be overthinking things, and they've certainly made some calls recently that have kind of blown up on them, really. I mean, if you look at it, they happen to be high-profile players. We've seen both situations with like a Connor McDavid and an Austin Matthews, high-profile names, having goals overturned that probably should have counted. And, there's obviously been a major outcry from fans to kind of get this fixed and resolved. I mean, obviously the whole point of video review is to get it right, but at the same time, they can't be overthinking it and, changing their minds on goals that really should have counted. So I know there's been debate on what should happen with goalie interference. I know the referees fought really hard to keep it within their control, but I think the league's going to come back with, if they wanted to leave it that way, that they need to make some changes to be more consistent, to not overthink things too much. So certainly leave some comments down below. What are your thoughts on the All-Star event? Do you still have interest in watching this, or is this something that you completely lost interest in? I want to know your thoughts. Certainly check us out on Twitter. You're going to see our Twitter handle right here. We're also on Facebook and Instagram. All of our social media links are down in the description below. Thanks very much for watching, everybody. We'll catch you next time.